Today we are going to talk about linear equations. So first of all, we need to understand or review what equations are. Okay, so an equation is a way to express an equality between two mathematical expressions. Okay, so for example, 2x minus 5 is equal to 24. So here you have one mathematical expression, and here we have another mathematical expression. So what we're basically doing is comparing the equality between these two. Okay. Over here we have this equal sign that later on we're going to talk about how it relates with inequalities. Okay, so that is something to keep in mind. So when solving equations, what we need to we're looking to find the value of the variable. Okay, so I'm going to use this same basic exercise. So what we want to do here, I'm going to use another exercise. So let's say 3x is equal to 12. It's a very simple one. So I'm not going to do the process. I don't want to take too long with this. So as you all know, 3 times 4 is equal to 12, right? So we could say that the value of x over here is 4, and we will write it down here. X is 4. Of course, there's a whole process behind it. This is just a basic example of how inequalities kind of work, how linear equations work, sorry. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of exercises that are going to help you understand a bit better how linear equations work. Okay, and now we are going to solve this exercise that is negative 2m plus 5m is equal to 45. This is a very simple exercise that I'm going to explain how to solve it. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is isolate. We don't want to have two like terms on the same side, right? So what we do is that we add these like terms, which is going to give us, so negative 2 plus 5 is 3. So 3m is equal to 45. Okay, now what we want to do, the way we're going to isolate this m, because remember that's our goal, and we have to divide this. We have to divide. Why? Because 3 is being multiplied by m, so the only way to isolate m is by dividing by 3. So we're going to divide by 3, which cancels out, and we're left with m. We have to do the same thing over here. So 45 divided by 3 will be equal to m, and 45 divided by 3 is 15. Is 50, right? That is going to be our very simple first exercise. So the first thing you want to think about is number 1, always do things on both sides. What do I mean with this? When you're going to isolate variables and subtract when you're going to isolate numbers, the basic steps to isolating the variable consists on subtracting or adding or dividing or multiplying on both sides, right? Because remember, this over here states that both of them are equal, so what we do to one side, we also have to do it to the others. Okay, so that's one of the most important things that you have to remember when solving linear equations. Okay, now I'm going to move to a second exercise. So our exercise, it is going to be c plus 3/4 is equal to negative 1/4. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to isolate this c. Oh, also I forgot to mention, the second most important thing you have to remember is that you must isolate the variable. That is very important. That must be your number one priority when you have when you have linear equations that involve variables. If they don't involve variables, they're pretty easy. You just add or divide or multiply, whatever the problem tells you to do. Okay, so now what we are going to say is that since we want to isolate c, we say that c plus 3/4 minus 3/4, because remember, in order to isolate c we must remove this 3/4. In order to do that, since it's adding, we have to subtract now. Okay, and remember our first rule, always do things on both sides. Well, now it's the time to use, oh my god, okay, I did something. Okay, now it's time to use that. Okay, now it's time to put that into practice. So since we subtracted on this side, now we say that negative 1/4 minus 3/4 is our new equation. So this cancels out, which leaves us with c is equal to negative 1/4 minus 3/4, which is, as you know, when you subtract fractions with same denominator, what you just do is subtract the numbers on the top, right? So negative 1 minus 3 is equal to negative 4/4, or c is equal to negative 1. So this was a very basic video about how linear equations work, and I hope this video was useful for you. There are some details that I did not cover that are like very specific to some cases. However, this video should cover the basics and the first thing you need to know to understand how linear equations work and how to solve them. So yeah, that should be it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to check more videos, I will be posting some videos regarding linear equations with two variables, inequalities, and how to graph linear inequality. So that's a good thing to keep in mind, and I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. So I forgot to mention, you can check page 284 that basically covers a bit of what I talked to today in a more detailed way. There are some exercises that you can use to practice over here. So these exercises are overall pretty simple. I would really recommend going over page 293. You can pick any exercises, especially the ones from 73 to the bottom, because they're the most like specific like cases, and those are really good exercises to practice, and they are good like all case scenarios, so that way you can kind of experiment and practice how to solve linear equations. So yeah, that'll be it, and I'll see you next time.